design firm dedicated to healthy design, to honest collaboration, and to hard work. You will find that we're an ego-free firm and that we're focused on meeting your needs. Randy and I have worked together closely for the last 15 years and have had success in the area on many local and regional projects. At this time, I'd like to take a minute and talk a bit about my partner and sort of how this project has some personal importance to him. Randy was a student at Paxenosa School. He was a graduate of Easton High School. He was a graduate of the CIT program. He went on to Northampton Area Community College. He's currently a resident of Easton. He's still very involved in the community. So this project means a lot to him. If we're selected and things don't go well, everybody's going to be going after Randy as he walks the street. With that, I'll turn it over to Randy.
Thank you all. I promise it's going to go well.
That's where I'll sit down and get it.
I'm not over that comment yet. I could be your mom.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I just meant you old enough to be mine.
So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about what my partner Mike and myself have done over the years. We have been a team for the last 15 years. We work side by side every day. We're both Drexel graduates. We both went through the co-op program, which is a work and go to school at night program. I did that from the Lehigh Valley. I think that speaks a lot to our commitment to this profession and our careers. We worked on a number of iconic Lehigh Valley projects. Our professional careers span as far west as Iowa and as far south as the Carolinas. We are rooted here in the Lehigh Valley. We're committed to the Lehigh Valley, and I am so committed to Easton. I personally have worked for a school district in Bangor with Mr. Reinhardt when he was superintendent there, and I've worked on some projects locally that you may know. The Siegel Museum, I was the project architect for that. I was the project architect for the new transportation center in Easton City Hall. My partner Mike was the project architect for the Arts Quest Center at Steele Styles. I probably have completed over a dozen projects here within the city proper. I know the people, and I have an honest relationship with them. What we've been up to recently, over the past 8 months, we've gotten to work with a number of different clients. We are not a single client architect. We don't specialize in one building type. We are critical thinkers. You'll see in the top right-hand corner is Easton's new police station. That's at 5th and Northampton Street, right next to the State Theater. The bottom left is a new 10-story office building in downtown Allentown for Talent Energy. We were fortunate enough to be selected as the architects for the new Teamsters Local 773 office building in Whitehall. We've continued our relationship with the Bangor School District, the Career Institute of Technology. We're just wrapping up a campus master plan for St. James School. We have some large clients like Lehigh Valley Health Network. We're going to be starting our third project for them. And Lehigh University, we're going to be starting, I think, our third or fourth project with them. So we practice critical thinking in every market sector. Our team is strong. Our Alloy 5 team is strong. We have our president, Mike Metzger. I'm going to lead this team. Mike will be behind me the entire way. Chris Connors is a senior designer in our firm. He will be involved in the project the entire way. Joe Balsamo is a senior project manager. He will be involved in the project the entire way. And again, this team has been together for 15 years. Rick Roseberry. Rick is a Palmer Township resident. He's an Easton grad. He just put his final kid through the school district here. Dropped him off in West Virginia last week. Rick was our civil engineer. He's going to head our civil team with Major Consulting. And Kevin Burns, something tells me you've already met him. He's going to lead our HVAC team. A couple funny faces up there. George Katanis, he will be our plumbing designer. Ian Batten will be our electrical designer. Ross Sopak, our structural engineer. Adam Corsi will be our food service. I know you guys are excited about that. and Chris Brooks is our acoustician. Collectively, our team has worked for over 18 school districts. It's a little hard to read up there, but this is our team organization. It's pretty simple. Those that I just mentioned are going to work for us, through us, and we're going to funnel information to you, the district, through Duty Engineering. We're going to work with you in a way that we're used to, the way that we've been doing for clients for years. We will have bi-weekly meetings with the district and Duty Engineering. It's an open invitation. You're welcome to come. Anyone is welcome to come so long as you, as the district, approve. We'll have those meetings here at the district. We will chair those meetings. We'll distribute meeting minutes so everyone knows what's going on. We'll know what decisions were made and why they were made for everything, all trades. We'll probably split off into smaller groups to talk about phasing specifically and how that affects the schedule. And we'll do end user interviews with district staff and facilities so we can gain more knowledge about the building, the process, and so forth. We'll take the results of those meetings to the project team and work them in a collaborative manner. So the existing conditions, we're going to start by talking about the site and the community-site relationship, some of the solutions that we came up with, and then we're going to get into the existing building. A strong community at Alloy 5, we believe a strong school is a foundation for a strong community. This school is an iconic neighborhood landmark. We all know that. We've all driven by it for years. We're all proud of it. A safe school will reinforce a safe neighborhood. We're going to talk about that with our site solution and that green space for neighbors to see and take pride in and to walk by. Our site solution was based off of your goals. You wanted 80 parking spots, maximize green space. You wanted us to meet local and state requirements. We met with the city to discuss our solutions. We've done that. We've created a safe place for students to play. We've created a fenced-in area around the play area. Kids do not have to go outside before they get into that contained space. They're safe all the way through the school and into that space. Neighborhood visibility is important. When you think about that parking lot, 80 spots, you have to think about the local zoning ordinance. Buffer trees, they're required along property lines. They're meant to buffer vision, and there's also going to be a requirement for canopy trees. That's why we feel that you have in the RFP shown the parking lot in the right spot. We couldn't imagine putting those buffer trees along 12th Street. We thought about it. It was our first sort of instinct, given that the gym's there. But think about buffer trees, canopy trees, all along 12th Street, buffering vision to the play area. So we decided to keep it where it was. We worked it out a little bit since we submitted the RFP. Also in our RFP, we worked with the city through a concept of possibly getting a bus drop off in the back. If you read the text, you will do our RFP, you'll realize it didn't work very well. The existing building, it is a sustainable building. It's one of the most sustainable buildings the district has. It's obvious. It's been around a long time. It's expected to be around even longer. It has strong bones, regardless of the roofing issues, the lack of daylighting, and accessibility. It really is a strong building. And we love the orange carpet. So we're going to talk about, with that, existing conditions. We'll talk about cost and change orders and all that fun stuff. And I'm really trying to keep it quick. Documenting that existing building is key to really change orders for construction. We get that. We understand that. We are experts with building information modeling. Chris is a certified Revit professional. We get it. And I want you to know that we are going to spend, should you hire us, the next couple months just climbing through that building. We've already spent hours there, climbing around, seeing what's there. So we're going to marry, in this section, we try to marry your requirements with solutions to that building, your ed specifications, the building program, some general school ideas, and some additional items. We added some imagery in here so you can see a little better of what we were designing inside the building with the RFP. I'm not going to read through all of these, but your ed specifications say it best. Children learn best in a safe environment. That's what we based our site solution on, that's what we based our building solution on, and an exposure to a variety of learning experiences. And there's a lot more. We took inspiration from your ed specs when we came up with our solution to create a welcoming school, 21st century learning environment, an environment that encourages collaboration, that provides connection to each part of the school. That school right now, if you walk through it, it's a blank floor plate. The doors are shut. There is no connection from the basement. The basement is truly the basement. There's no vertical connection. We're trying to address that in our solution. We activate the hallways. The corridors are dead right now. Provide a learning environment in the hallways. We provide a place, obviously, to nourish children easily, a simple cafeteria, flexible furniture throughout the building, enhancing the existing features, and obviously ease of constructability and phasing. So a safe school. When you look at the basement and the main level, you realize there's over 15 exterior doors. That's like a no-no in elementary schools. There's so many points of security. We're gonna look to eliminate a few, specifically underneath the cafeteria, that area, there's an exterior door in the kindergarten room. We want to remove that. I think right now, all of the exterior doors are alarmed. We're going to alarm them, we want to camera them, and we want to provide access to the community, to the gym, and really keep that security feature so we can lock the entire school down in the gym. Going to look to do the same thing on the main level, provide that man lock that's there now, so no visitor can walk into the school without going through the administration area. And the third floor,
Excuse me, can you repeat that?
What did you say, you're going to maintain it?
we are going to maintain a similar man lock to what is there now.
Similar.
So no visitor will walk into the school without going through administration. And, to the right in our scheme is the registration and support. On the third floor, that green little box that you see is we're proposing guidance, putting some administration up on the level where there's no other adults besides teachers. And daylighting. Daylighting was one of your biggest concerns. How do we get natural light into this 1970s school? You'll see the yellow area that shows we're adding some windows. We're doing some easy things like putting the stair tower doors on cold opens to let the corridors flood with natural light from the stair tower instead of keeping them closed. Should there be emergency, those doors can close. On the main level where there's a locker bank in the rear of the school here, too small of a space to go open, but to keep open, use as collaborative space, and to use those windows there, take the lockers out, use the windows, and have borrowed light come into the classrooms. Those are 4 classrooms that do not have direct access to exterior windows. And on the third floor, obviously, we will do the same, and we will also provide a new skylight for the media center, which will add a different level of daylight. ADA compliance. This school really needs ADA compliance. We have to tackle it. It's a tall task, but we are up for it. We cannot expect this building to last another 30 years without doing it. Mike's going to tell you all about it.
Yeah, I'll keep it pretty brief. As you know, right now the building is accessible vertically, so there is an elevator. You can reach all 3 levels. The issue comes in, and it's depicted pretty well here, with some of the plumbing fixtures. So in the hallways, the water fountains aren't the appropriate height for an elementary school. So we have these nice little step ladders here in front. The toilets themselves are not made to be accessible currently. In addition, with the current needs of students, there are some students within the district who have and require aides to be with them. There are some students who have health issues where they can't be in a public restroom. We're recommending the use of unisex toilets. And what those unisex toilets do, in addition to making the existing facilities accessible, they allow the faculty to use them, and then, again, students who might have different gender aides that follow them. So truly, it doesn't limit anyone from gaining access to the facilities. In addition, right now, the stage is not accessible within the auditorium, so that's another thing that we would look to address.
So our schemes and solutions, we're gonna start with our understanding of the program and budget, our explorations and priorities, our design solutions, and cost control. We understand your budget. When we break your budget down, we have $16.5 million. Our site's gonna cost us $500,000, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing is 8.2, and general construction is about $7.7 million. First and foremost, kids need to be comfortable, they need plumbing, they need electricity, so the priorities are straight. They're right. And general construction typically is not, less than that, but in this case is. We shine on projects that have small budgets. That's what we do best, and we are very happy to be in this position. Our explorations take into account that budget and understand time constraints, affect budget, scope affects budget. We looked at a couple of explorations to save some time, some things that make sense, and we'll talk about them a bit before we get in. We looked at adding on to the building to help on the third floor, the second and third floor classrooms along with the kindergarten. It just didn't make sense. We were going to work from the back of the building, which was modular, why adding on. And we looked at structural elements. You'll see it in our RFP. It's, there's a bearing wall in the middle of the classroom window that's going to cost money to shore up if you really need it. You guys see that?
We have this here.
So, the lower level, you'll notice we are proposing to infill the existing music classroom and provide a connection, a level connection to the stair tower that goes up to admin. This is critical. Kids, like your ed specs, should be grouped together. There should be connection in this school. These kindergarten kids are really stuffed in the basement. We want to provide a connection, a level connection to the stair tower, easy access, and we want them to feel as if they're part of the school. The blue box on top would be pre-K. We envision that level connection that is not currently there as a collaborative space, as a connector, and we see that entire corridor going up to pre-K as that kindergarten, we call it the Hall of Fame. So with that, there's a shot, a rendering of what could be a potential for that space that does not exist. We could easily remove a piece of the floor to create this collaboration space, so again, so kids feel connected to the administration area and to the rest of the school. Those windows that you see are the old windows from when the media center was a courtyard. And you'll see just a nice collaborative environment that does not exist at this point. Vertical connections so we connect the floors. On the second floor, you'll see that yellow dot is that opening in the floor that kids can walk by. There could be an acoustic connection and also a visual. We're renovating the cafeteria. We're keeping health the way it is. We're locating music behind the auditorium. And we're grouping the classrooms as you suggested in the aspects. I want to note that that bearing wall that we mentioned is in the middle of the classroom room, and we've worked around it in this scheme, but likely we'll need to do a little bit of work to it. This is our welcoming entrance at the front door. Security. Administration needs transparency. That glass wall you see will be the wall that divides the main hallway from the administration area. It should be glass. We show it as glass. And we just tried to create this small little node at the front door to pay homage to the school's namesake. The third floor is the same. We're proposing guidance upstairs, as I mentioned, some special education, and again, grouping the classrooms per your ed specs. I want to pause here and say there's crucial square footage in this building that's being taken up by mechanical equipment. You probably have heard it already tonight. We're going to look to use the basement, that back area that's not used for air handler units. We're going to do our chiller piping, and it's going to free up some real estate upstairs. We just don't know what that is yet. There's a shot of the collaborative space that we see between the classroom wing in the back where I spoke about the windows that overlook the play area. This would happen on the second and third floor. You know, the furniture, I'm not sure that we would have couches in an elementary school, but the idea of providing a separate learning environment for children and using that natural light to flood the hallway and into those interior classrooms. Cost control, cost of construction, I'm a firm believer is the quality times quantity times the contractor's risk. Quality is always at the forefront, always. Bid alternates, we will use bid alternates, I'm sure you've heard that tonight, to control the quantity of things, but we're also going to use it to control the tolerance of risk. Multiple phasing schemes we are going to provide. We're going to run you through one tonight that shows a 24-month construction period. We're going to develop optional phasing schemes that show additional timeframes for the contractor. We did it at Baylor High School. It ended up saving them money. I can't say that it will save you money here, but we could look at speeding the construction up or keeping it the way it is in the RFP. At the end of the day, we will be able to rest our heads at night knowing that we explored all options. So phasing, I'm going to let Mike talk about phasing. And again, we will develop multiple phasing schemes with multiple money streams.
If we're okay on time, I'm just going to go through phasing the way we see it. The first, and what we've done really is
Sorry, we're at 1 minute and 39 seconds. Just so
great, plenty of time. So thank you. We've looked at phasing really and broken it down by the summer months and the school year. So within the summer months, we see a lot of critical work taking place. That first summer month is a shortened one, so we're going to try to start some of the work down in the kindergarten area. The most important thing really is that when construction is taking place within the school year, that you're living in this building and the students are trying to learn in this building. So we have to make sure that we're separating the work and the construction from the students and the students' activities. And that's the most important thing. So whether it's allocating a stair tower for the workers, we know we're going to have to probably share the elevator during that time. But as we mentioned in the beginning, safety is the most important thing. And what we've tried to do is break down the work within the building to take place during the summer months, the big pieces, and then to be separated during the school year. I'd love to get into more detail, but I know our time's limited. So with that, I'll let Randy sum up and finish.
I just want to close by saying thank you. We're happy to answer any of your questions. We stand ready to take on this project. It is our pledge to you that we will do this project on time, on budget, and we will make sure that it is efficient for this school board and school boards to come. I'm going to close with my daughter who says thank you. She's our corporate closer. We'll take any questions now.
Thank you. We do have some questions prepared. We have a three-part question. What multi-use and space efficiencies are incorporated into your concept plan?
Multi-use and space efficiencies. Well, I think we're using the corridors as collaborative space, small group space. We're using the auditorium stage as a music classroom. The cafeteria is open and flexible to be used for multifunctioning. We've thrown some ideas around to I won't get into it, but we use the auxiliary gym for some other items. We have a collaborative faculty area.
Thank you. Second part, which is again a three-part question. How does your concept plan accommodate community and after-school hours use of the facility?
Well, we're showing a security lockdown for the auditorium, so they can use it. Now, the auditorium has to be handicap accessible. It's not right now, so we have to use the front door for that access. We can use the rear for exiting. So that's taken care of in our plan. We can use the gym the same way. And lock the school down. We have the phasing worked out, so the gym is active when you need it to be active during the winter months, and we're being taken care of in the summer. There's inherently a community entrance to the cafeteria. And we also have a separate entrance for family connection. We showed a scheme that was maybe a little bit out there for you guys, but it showed community connection and a future plan for our campus.
How does your concept design enhance and promote building security and safety? Which we know you touched on in the last couple of questions.
We made it from the site design to the layout, we made it our top priority. We looked at everything. Like when you look at that site plan, you think 80 cars, and you see a big gym, you think naturally you put the parking lot there, but you have to think further. You have to think about the things that you have to do, the buffer trees. People are not going to see that. Teachers are not going to feel safe walking through that. We placed the parking lot accordingly. The teacher can walk outside of their car, and a custodian can watch them from the window in the classroom wing, and people can feel safe. And, the same with all of the elements that we laid out in the
Question 2, how will you work with our project management team to make sure that cost control, schedule, and quality are maintained?
We have worked with Dewey Engineering in the past, I have personally, who work hand in hand. I think we'll challenge each other to be better at all times. We work with them on a daily basis. We will be on the phone with them, we'll be emailing them. Costs, we will be in that building looking at those existing conditions because those are going to drive the cost. And we are going to relay that information to them. We are experts in doing conceptual budgeting. I do it myself personally. I've done it over the years, and I have never had a project go over budget.
Thank you.
Right. And put in here. As you talked about the project and everything, what do you do to assure that all the owner's ideas and thoughts are heard and addressed prior to the final design?
We invite you to those design team meetings that happen during the schematic design phase, the design development phase, construction documents, so you're there. You have a voice at the table. We expect you to be there. We've done it in the past with Mr. Reinhardt and the Bangor Area School District. We make notes of that. We distribute those. We let your representative review them before we make them a public document, so everyone knows what's going on. And make sure we incorporate everything we want. This firm was founded on being flexible, so we are flexible architects.
Question 3, have you reviewed the draft contract and scope included in the RFP, including the agenda? Do you have the scope and services included in your fee?
We do. We have additional services included in our fee as well. We are going to have our acoustician look at the entire school, not just the music spaces. Because the classrooms are just as important, the hallways are just as important, the bathrooms, you hear it here when you go to the bathroom, you can hear the air handler, so we're going to look at it.
Question 4, how will you ensure that required land development and site approvals are all met in a timely fashion and the impact to the district is minimized?
I've been through the land development process in the city of Easton more than anyone I can. We're going to get a sketch plan in their hand really fast. They've already seen it. We've already gotten their input, and we'll take it from there. We'll have a sketch plan to the planning commission, and probably one more meeting, and we'll have approval. There's some zoning things to work out, so I see it being a couple-month process and not being any hurry to the project schedule.
Final, one of our prepared questions. Please tell us what you know about Paxos Elementary School. What do you know about the needs of our students? And what do you think is lacking? How do you plan to address these issues?
I know a lot of these kids. I coach them in Little League Baseball. I think for most of these kids living in a dense area, that one is probably the only piece of grass they're going to see all day, and this play area is going to be the only thing they're going to get to play on. So that has to be an important part of our design. And I think the same goes for the interior of the building. That building is not an appropriate scale for elementary school kids, and we've seen our design. We've already tackled addressing it.
Thank you. I'm going to open it up for the board to ask some questions that they might have come up with through your presentation. I'm actually going to lead off with one that I just spoke to Superintendent Reinhardt about. Your original proposal, when you replied to the RFP, had something in there that I really enjoyed. You only really touched over it very briefly today, and that's the clinic.
We have 25 minutes to present a lot of things. We schemed through that book. We were asked to give you ideas, and we did that. We spent a lot of time working on throwing things at you guys.
Mr. Galliard, for time's sake,
Yeah.
can you just touch on that clinic for me?
The clinic was, we were spending time in the school. We know it's a United Way school, very familiar with those programs. And we ran into the director, we asked questions, we asked how she was going to use it. We know there's grants available for it, so we showed an option for it.
And that's a clinic, because I didn't get to get the questions from you in the RFP when it came out. It's going to be a clinic for the community.
For the community. That's where those United Way schools are moving. There's money available to get it. It's popular out west. And we're hoping to see it.
Thank you. Mr. Finley?
You know, as you talk about this, you talk about communications and being well informed, sending out minutes and everything else. Going along those lines, obviously having some kind of structured protocol and everything for communicating between yourself, the district, doing everything else is important. Do you have any concern if we were to add into the contract an actual protocol type of concept?
For communication, we expect the district to have communication right out.
And the other question I asked the gentleman sitting here already earlier, so I suspect the answer is basically the same already.
We'll try it out.
Would you like me to remind you? That was dealing with the green or the lead per se, and where we would be, you had previously answered.
Correct, no different.
How'd you answer that?
We're all curious.
Tell me. Someone.
So Randy knows too. So, you sure? Okay. You're gonna get up for nothing.
Yeah, first it's just a quick comment. I noted you back to the future reference on page 35. So.
Now everybody's gonna flip this
I
one.
think the DeLorean.
I'm on top of that. Secondly, just something you alluded to briefly, you talked about a lot of the doors in the building, not obviously for security. Are you talking about just making those doors they're two-way now, you're making one-way exit doors, or you're removing them? I'm just concerned about fire code with building.
There's
So
so
I would
many
assume
exterior
it's gonna have to
exits in
pass.
that building, it's not an issue from fire code standpoint. It's an
Okay.
issue with what we're proposing with the doors, if you walk through those stair towers, there's a fixed mullion.
Mhm.
And I can't tell you how many black rumors we got over the years walking through those things. We're looking at replacing those doors in the interior, putting them on hold openings, so the windows in the stair tower actually provide daylighting for the entire building. And then we will, plate off the hardware for those doors so they can't be opened.
Okay, thank you. And just a question about the building in general. The building is very old. It's kind of experience you have working with renovating older buildings such as that?
I have a lot of experience actually working with buildings that were designed by this very architect right here in the city. My partner Mike was the project architect for East Hall and Muhlenberg College, which is a building of the same vintage. And it was more complex than this project, phase project. We have a lot of experience. I told you that's the most important part of this project, is documenting that existing building. But the existing building has strong bones. It's a great building. It's going to last.
Great.
Okay. Superintendent Reinhardt?
Yeah, I just want to ask, most of the districts, I'm sure, for whom you've worked, have tough financial circumstances. I wanted to know if you or any of your associates here could cite some specific examples of how you respected those circumstances in terms of the dollars going into a project like this.
Well, I think we've done it with the Bangor School District. I have personally. We've met every budget that we were given, and every time schedule. We start by respecting it by accepting the fact that it's an old building and it has to be documented properly. And spending the time doing that. Architects skip that all the time. We love being in these buildings, we love knowing about them. It helps us answer questions, it helps us document it appropriately. We did the old Stone Washington School without problems, without budget problems. So I think respecting the existing building is a start. Now, we have at times probably some of the smallest budgets, I won't say the poorest clients, but the smallest budgets on projects. We love that situation because it gives us constraints to work with. We work within. We have them here. We have a limited amount of funds to do a lot with. And we love being in that situation. I can't say it again. It's our challenge in our office to meet those financial constraints that we put on us. Did that answer your question?
Are there any other questions? Hearing none, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent,
Nobody's
All right, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Enjoy your vacation. I'm gonna try.
How we look, Teach? Are we on the right path?
Yes, we'll talk. We can give you words.
Well, actually, at this time, I'm gonna take the last one out. Because they cut it on me. We're gonna go to public comment, and really you're the closest thing we have to public, so if you would like to take the podium now and speak your, on agenda items only.
Sure. My name is Richard Gressler. I teach at Paxenosa. I'm the instrumental music teacher there. I've been there since 2002, so I've been through the transitions when we moved from Paxenosa to 12th Street. I've also been at Forks, and I'm currently also at Cheston. The presentations are wonderful. They're all better than what we have right now. You know what we have, and none of the teachers truly are happy with what we have there. You know, we feel we're teaching in high school. It's a difficult situation at times. Safety is a big concern in that area. So it, those types of issues are concerns. Parking, I'm happy to see that was addressed. One of the statements, we kept hearing in your questions was the one about asking the architects what they felt the students needed and what would benefit for them, which is a great question. My statement as I sat there listening to that is we need to be asked that question. The teachers do. I listened, each architect's project was wonderful. But then I sit there listening to the second one that had the folding wall situation. Sounds great. We already have that folding wall. It exists now. How many times it's been open since we've been in that building? None. Because we don't use that kind of thing. The only time it was tried to be open was to let air move because it's in an air conditioned room. There's no air moving. So that's just one of those things that sounds great. We have no use for it, really. The open areas, the last one was discussing in the hallways. Again, they sound wonderful. I can't really foresee us utilizing them in teaching situations. With the couches, they're not useful. The first one was commenting about the security vestibule with a place for the security guard. That's great. We don't have a security guard. It would be an empty room, similar to the one at Shawnee or a vice principal at this time. Now, could those things be, you know the plans in the future more than we do at this point. If those things are going to be added back in at some point, wonderful. We would need those things, but I listen to those things as I sit here for this presentation, and I don't understand why this would be even discussed. The question you asked about the 12th Street parking, I think that was the best one tonight. That is a problem we have right now with that little parking lot back there by the gym and people trying to pull out of it onto 12th Street. Well, buses are parked there and kids are walking there. We don't, that's a major concern. Having the exit onto Spring Garden, that would be a big, I have bus speed every day, so I'm standing up there morning and afternoon. So I have problems with people trying to pull in to that parking lot in the morning while kids are walking on the sidewalk. I have problems with people trying to pull out of that in the afternoon between buses that are parked there loading kids. So that's.
And we're essentially talking about staff.
Some, not district staff, not all of them.
So who else, I am curious, who else would be parking in those pads behind the
There's
gym?
IU faculty, there's IU staff members that they're not our building. People just, administrators pull in, park back there, want to leave.
Administrators, huh?
I mean, well, yeah, people, when I say administration, we have central administration, we have ESL. We have many different people that, are traveling into the building for legitimate purposes, but because we don't have parking facilities on site, then people don't feel safe parking behind Cottingham Street and Cottingham Stadium during the day, in a lot of situations. So seeing that parking lot was there was wonderful. But, just in talking, if you talk to, people who are out there every day, you realize I'd rather think we'd see the exits on Spring Garden than we would on 12th Street. The last one, I think, had it completely eliminated. So seeing
12th Street,
yeah, see, it had 12th Street, that drive completely eliminated, and that, to me, being out there watching it every day, makes the most sense. Not sure what the spec sheet was sent out was, but I think if you ask the teacher at Paxinosa, one of the biggest problems we have right now is bathroom. I didn't hear one of them talk about changing the bathroom situation in the building. We probably lose half an hour of instructional time a day to bathroom break, because there's just not enough bathroom facilities in that building that are utilized. You go onto the second floor where Mr. Hall has a classroom, there's a bathroom outside of his room for boys. It's got, I think, 2 stalls in it. That's it. 200, kids up on that floor that need to utilize two men's room, 2 stalls for all those kids. And they have stools there to access the facilities. It's too low. So I think one of the best statements I heard all night was from the first woman, and I can't remember the contractor, the architect, NKS. And her comment was that failure starts with poor communication, and that's so true. And I so hope that when we get to that final design phase, that just come and talk to us. And that's
Well,
a good thing.
and Dewey, Reeve here just brought that up. You will be included, obviously, the bathrooms will be
Well, I understand.
taken into consideration. I want you guys to know that will
But I'm just saying, those are the
Yeah,
things, those are the things that, if you come and ask us what our kids need, you know, because I understand what the architects do, they have some great plans. I wish I was an architect at times, I can draw some of that stuff up and design those things, but then I look at it as being, it scared me because they keep talking about my room, I'm in the band room in the basement that the last one eliminated. Where I'm gonna go, you know. I have to share that room this year, we've lost it, you know, I just found out that I have to, as of today, because of changes in the building, I have to share that with the other classrooms. So I'll now be teaching basically in the small storage room, in that room, because that's where the facilities are, that's what we have in that building. I actually taught there when we were March PAX, March and NOSA. That was my route back to it. But so, I mean, that's the communication concern, you know, and like I said, architects design wonderful things. You know, I remember the project up at Mr. Reinhardt, I was up at March, I taught at March when we had school closed for mold 20-some years ago now. It was my third year teaching, and we got thrown out of our building for 6 months, right at the beginning of the school year. And I had to teach part-time at March, and I was teaching, we had the modular classroom in the background, the fourth room. So when I drove past the March project and saw what they did to that building, and it's wonderful now, you know, so I know what can happen at 12th Street. You know, my mother graduated from that high school, she was one of the first classes there. So I know those things can be put in there, but I know architects can have wonderful ideas, and they look great on paper, but then you put them into physical use, and sometimes you just like, I'm not sure what the purpose is. Yeah, having these communal areas where you can sit and teachers don't leave the classrooms. They're not going to take classes out there. It's just going to be, you know, chaos.
Thank you very
So,
much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us tonight.
Thank you, absolutely.
Since Rich took all of my.
He took my time.
So, you know, great presentations, and you guys have a lot of discussion to do before you make your decision. 15-year teacher at Pax, all at Pax NOSA, 2nd, 4th grade. These kids need this. They really do.
And you guys need it too, the staff.
Yeah, we fought through a lot of things over the years, but you know, hopefully this comes to fruition. You have your work cut out for you with, you know, making the dollars work and all that, and you know, I don't envy you on that, but you know, there's a lot of things these kids need. There's a lot of things this building needs, so please allow us to be part of it, because I think you know, we have a great staff. We really do. People that actually want to be there and teach there, and I know they have a lot of great ideas. So please include us.
I'll tell you what, when I spoke to Ms. Myers, I told her to let everybody know to come out today. Well, I'm sure everybody was busy. I know especially the teachers in Pax NOSA are very concerned. So I know they're just busy and things, but you two came out, so we'll make sure that you guys are on the list for, you know, we definitely seek you out when we move forward, because we will be moving forward. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we discussed it earlier, we're just gonna go around and, you know, give you your thought, on your firm that you choose, and I'm not gonna ask you much more about it, just pick the name for a consensus. We're obviously not doing the vote. Would you like me to start, or would somebody else like to start? Okay. Okay. Mr. Snyder?
Well, I'm honestly at a coin toss, but I'm probably at MKSD right now.
Thank you.
Very close, but that's where I'm leaning.
Mr. Fennel?
I'm tossed between the two of BSD and Alloway.
Grab Darren by his ankles, I got heads.
It's gonna be a long flight. 6 4-foot flight.
I'm leaning a little bit towards MKSD.
Thank you. Mr. Vandenberg?
How long?
I am gonna come back to, I'm just gonna go for the voting member first, if you guys don't mind.
Me.
There's a couple down the line, I have to make sure I didn't skip.
Alloy and MKSD were really close, but Alloy won.
Alloway won
Well, for a board, I have Alloy winning 5-2. Oh, skip me.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what I think. So it looks like Alloy would be awarded. But before I do that, I'd like to start with Mike Simonetta and work back this way. No, I wouldn't. Josh, I'd like to start with you.
Well, you know, at these interviews, I know we've mentioned it before, you're not necessarily picking a scheme or a solution that comes along with, you know, sitting down with the district and understanding the needs a little bit better. You're picking the team that you feel would best represent the district and you know, translate your needs into a project. And
I just need to know what you think.
I was kind of torn, honestly, between Buckwell and Alloy. I prefer the solutions Buckwell came up with, but I think if you're looking at the team as a whole and what they want to put into it, I think Alloy kind of has more of a, I won't say vested interest because everybody would represent themselves and move very well, but I think Alloy would kind of take it from there.
Thank you. And I was just joking about this. I like hearing your opinion. I do. Mike.
He doesn't like your mind, but he's.
I don't like hearing mine.
I like them both, Alloy and NKSD. I like the experience, I like the background of NKSD. What tipped it for me at Alloy is the passion and the groundwork that they did getting the facts and getting here. People work with us, they've had ideas, some good, some may not like, but
I think the line that really tipped you actually was the fact that they said they are never over.
Oh, he said.
Mr. Milley?
I would agree with everything that Mike said.
Arif?
We know who
I would have said no superintendent for last. I mean, he's the most important man up here, so
I'm aging
we'll save him for
quickly.
last.
I'm aging quickly.
Very quick.
Well, I would have to say, typically my job is to give you 3 candidates that I think could execute the job by putting together a program and RFP. We accomplished that. I think we got solved with some great ideas. So really, my choice is the board's choice, and we will make sure that it's a
Our solicitor, would you like to crack at it?
No, I thought the first presentation was really good. Alloy seems to have a real connection to the district. And, so, I had to go that.
Last but not least, meeting's adjourned.
Well, I'm very concerned about dollars, and I think Alloy 5 offered us the best financial option, and also I think we have the most. We'll get the most out of them from what I've seen and heard.
All right.
Alloy 5.
So what we'll do is, Arif will do what he does on the side. Next week, the motion will be to approve Alloy 5. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
No, motion.
I'm sorry.
We have non-agenda.
You have non-agenda items on
We
on
do.
the agenda?
No, I do. Would you like to speak about that?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
She waited for hours.
I don't have non-agenda items today.
I know it's a special meeting and I apologize.
No, you know what, I apologize that I missed that.
My name is Rayanne Perry. I live on 1108 West Lincoln Street in Easton.
Hey, how's that?
And I know you have a lot to think about, and I know tonight was a special meeting and we're focused on Paxnosa. But I'm a member of the Swimming and Diving Booster Club at Easton High School. And I came as a result of reading Lehigh Valley Live today and the article about the pool. And I just wanted to give you some information. I know that a lot of work has been done on the existing pool this summer. I know the maintenance crew has done an incredible job of making the pool sustainable for this coming school year. The swimming and diving team really appreciates that. And we know that financially, you have to look out for the best interests of thousands of students. But I wanted to give you some information about the swimming and diving team. You've had kids go to districts, you've had kids go to states, you've had kids go to national competitions, and your feeder program, the local community swim league, the summer league, Easton Aquatics Club, went undefeated this summer. And they're your feeder group. You have wonderful younger swimmers coming up. They look forward to becoming part of the Easton High School team. And so that we hope that sustaining the pool for more than just this coming school year becomes a priority of yours, and that possibly we'll look into some more permanent fixes. The article today did say you understand it's a short-term fix what maintenance did this summer. So we're hoping that you'll come up with something and come up somehow with finances for a longer term. Selfishly, I have a senior who is a diver. He made districts the past 2 school years. He has trained off season. He's really looking forward to his senior year diving for Easton High School. And we found out today by reading Lehigh Valley Live that the diving team is now defunct. Diving.
We're a little lost, and I apologize, it's not your fault. Has anybody else seen this on the Lehigh Valley Live?
Yeah.
It was on today.
They're reading it now. I mean,
It was
I never
on
even
today.
heard this.
It was a response,
Like
Rudy
this
sent
afternoon.
an email asking about the pool, that a parent contacted him. I wanted to know, and Mrs. Weinhardt and I just supplied answers. But I didn't know, there's something in there about the diving team being
I don't know where that came from.
Mr. Reinhardt, you're quoted as saying
Yeah.
that the diving team is no longer in existence.
No, I never said that.
Because of state depth requirements.
No,
No.
if we were to do, to answer your
I
question,
didn't
if we
say
were to
that.
renovate it, we would have to change the depth requirement. It's like, it's grandfathered. There's enough depth for diving. But if we're gonna renovate it, we need to change that and make it stand out.
Okay, but you are quoted as saying.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
no
I'll have
longer
to
in
call him,
existence.
because we really didn't talk about diving today. I
And-
talked about the swim team, and I didn't even bring up the diving situation. I really didn't
Then
discuss
you
it.
have some damage control to do, because now
Yeah.
it's all over
Just say
Facebook
it, yeah.
that you have eliminated the diving team.
No.
Um,
Plus,
Please try
and let me just say to you,
to
ma'am, unfortunately, the board, obviously, you see us, we don't know what's going on. But a program wouldn't be eliminated unless it came to the board and the board voted to eliminate it.
Now,
And we never heard about
we
it, so there
did
was
talk
no
about it.
elimination.
We did talk about it last month, but it was.
Conversation.
It was made clear that we weren't looking to disband
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
How deep is the pool? I looked online and it said with a 1 meter diving board, a suggested depth is 11.5 feet.
Isn't it 12?
And I'm
It's 12.
thinking that our pool is 12,
12.
so our pool does meet that requirement for depth. But I have to tell you that the diving coach saw the article as well and was very upset that he wasn't consulted ahead of time.
would've been.
He doesn't need to be, because nobody has made a decision to stop the diving program. So if you could get that out on
I will.
Facebook, please do that.
Might have to email them.
Yeah, it's
You got our tweets in, Donald Trump.
Yeah, we didn't, and the board would have, if they wanted to disband that comes to the board, it would have been out publicly on the agenda, and we would have voted on it. That's never happened, so I'm sorry that you had to sit through all this tonight.
Yeah, that's all right. I enjoyed hearing all the presentations about the tough decision. But
Yeah, it's not happening.
yeah, so then
I'm
I think
sorry.
some damage control is gonna need to be
Absolutely.
done.
Well, we're gonna let him do it.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you for staying and listening to me.
Absolutely, thank you for staying.
Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to be heard on non-agenda items? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All those in favor? See you all next Tuesday. Yes, sir.
I'll be here, you're all.
Yeah, that's fine.